Hello. Welcome. Hello, everybody. Welcome to a new live, but a very different one. Welcome. We have someone out there already. Welcome. Let me know who you are. I want to see. Drop a comment. Welcome to a very special live. Yesterday I was live, but this one is going to be a little bit different. This one has a topic. So welcome. Let me know where are you watching from. Let me know who you are. Drop a comment so I can see your names and see who's on the other side of the screen for this moment. Let me know. I want to read you. And welcome to the ones that are joining already. How are you guys? Where are you watching from? Let me know. Today's live is gonna be a little bit different. I want to do things in a different way. So welcome. Who's on the other side of the screen? Let me know. I want to see your comment. Hello, Ase Hillary, watching from Kampala, Uganda. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining. Hey, welcome. Thank you so much. Thank you. Hello, everybody. Hello. Thank you for joining. Let me know where are you watching from. Let's get tuned in. This is a special live. I want to do something different. Let me know where are you watching from. Drop your name. I want to see who's there. Clinton the Explorer. Hello, Ro Cabrera. Good to see you watching from Kakamega. Is that your city? Is that your place? Your town? I cannot read your name. Watching from Ethiopia. Come to Ethiopia. Yes, I would love to. Akinye's Garden. Gogo's Diaries. Watching from Zimbabwe. Hello. Welcome. RCA, nice France. Hello, Ro. Blessing from the UK. That's your name? That's very beautiful. Celestine, watching from Sweden. Welcome. Okay, guys. Welcome to the ones that are joining. Today is a special live. Yesterday I was live also, but it was more casual. Nothing was planned in this case. I do have a plan for today. I'm gonna go with the flow, of course, but I do have a plan today. I want to do a live podcast. Clinton says, yes, Kakamega is my hometown. Okay. We will go someday. Thank you, Clinton. Thank you. Derek Burton, Atlanta. Welcome, everybody. Very nice to see you here. Very nice to see you. Some of you were yesterday. I remember you guys. Elizabeth Codet. Hello, greetings. Watching from Canada. Thank you for coming. Thank you for joining. In today's live, I want to do. So I've been talking to you. I've been telling you about my podcast. I have a podcast. In case you don't know what a podcast is like a new version of a TV program, like a radio show. Okay, a podcast is like a program that you can just listen. You don't need to sing. But in today's how can I call it? In today's normality, podcasts are very popular, and we have a chance to listen podcasts maybe on platforms like Spotify or Apple Tunes. So you can put your earphones and do something, cooking, drive, whatever, while you're listening to like a radio show, right? Also, we have the chance of video podcast where you can see the people talking, you can see the image, right? So my podcast is called The Sound of My Voice. El sonido de mi voz is in Spanish, actually. I have some episodes already. You can find my podcast on Spotify, and you can also find in this channel, Ro Cabrera Travels. If you go back to my first videos, it's actually I have my episodes. My podcast it started initially in Spanish because that's my native language, and for me it was easier to start speaking my native language for sure but I always had the intention to also be able to communicate all of the message that I want to communicate through my podcast in English, right? So I've been telling you that soon my podcast is coming, but I want to do like a small introduction with today's live. And I have a topic for today. So if you go back to my first episodes of my podcast, I want to do like a translation of my first episode, which is in Spanish, but I want to tell you about this episode today in this language, in English. And this episode is called The Fear of Beginnings. Let me know how many of you have ever faced a new beginning in something, in life, in general, and you were like completely terrified about it. Let me know. I'm reading you. I'm reading you right now. Have you ever experienced new beginnings and you were like really terrified about it? Were you afraid? Were you scared of a new beginning? Because a new beginning is something new. We don't know what's in the future. And sometimes, yes, even though we want to take this step to something new, we may be so scared. We might be terrified. We might be experiencing a lot of emotions and triggers inside. Let me know. Let me know if any of you have ever experienced something like this. I'm reading you. Welcome, guys, everybody. Definitely. Nasto, hello, Nasto. Definitely, when I left my job for YouTube, that is a huge step. I know how you feel. Yes. I have, Blessing says, I had one before, but always be bold and stay positive. Very, very true. Clinton the Explorer says, when I was beginning my YouTube channel, I really procrastinated for a long time due fear of starting something new. We are gonna talk a lot about it today. Okay, guys, I feel you in everything that you're saying. I feel you because I've been through the same. I feel like beginnings are a constant in our life. I feel like I noticed in my own experience that we experience beginnings multiple times, right? But I also noticed that every beginning started to be a little bit easier from time to time, right? When I was able to be aware of this situation, because for sure before I had many beginnings and all of these beginnings were like, this sensation of I don't want to, but I do want to, but I have to, but I don't want to, and it's a lot of mixed signals, that we feel. And I started to notice. So everything that I told in this Spanish episode is one I want to talk today. When it comes to fears of beginnings, this fear, I feel like a fear is a feeling that nobody wants to feel, but we're gonna experience it in our life many times. Like fear is gonna be part of our lives, whether we want it or not. What do you think? Is that true? Guys? For sure, I will be reading you the whole conversation. Gordon Garrett, so nice to see you. It's really nice to see that you are okay and you're watching the videos. I see you present. I send you a lot of love and light, you know. So guys, I've been noticing that in these things of being so scared of taking a step into a new beginning in our life, I was so scared many times, but at the same time, I always took the step. And after that, I was so proud. But what I noticed is my behaviors before finally taking the step to this thing, and these behaviors were just kind of ruin the process, like we're just retarding the process, making it harder, every time we are changing, every time we are experiencing new things. The unknown is always, tomorrow is unknown. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, right? So we are scared of what we don't know. And it's a normal thing, it's a human thing. It's a human thing, right? But I'm talking about my experience and the thing that I've been noticing in my patterns, every time that I'm someone that I love new beginnings. I love jumping into the unknown, and I love coming from one side of the world to another side of the world. Like, for me, coming to Africa was exciting and terrific at the same time, and many other things that I did, just like leaving my country, traveling alone, even launching my podcast. My podcast was actually what inspired me to the first episode that I did. The whole process of creating my podcast inspired me for my first episode with the fear of beginning, right? And it was really, really nice to see how I grew this seed, from the moment that I had the idea of doing a podcast, the whole time that took me to finally take the first step, to finally do it, right? Today you can find my podcast on Spotify and YouTube, but that point took me months, and in those months, I pay a lot of attention to my feelings. I pay a lot of attention to my behaviors. Procrastination, as Clinton was saying right now, was one of the biggest things that I noticed, right? So, for example, one of the first things that I noticed, since I had the idea, I want to talk about my podcast because that's what inspired me to start. To create my first episode. The topic of my first episode was completely inspired of my journey of creating a podcast. But I had many other beginnings before, as you. Welcome everybody to the ones that are joining. Today is a very different live. Today is a podcast, live podcast. And the topic of today is the fear of beginning. Geoffrey Moranga says, in the beginning you can have fear because you are not sure if you can make it or fall. Actually, yes, absolutely true. Sometimes it's not just the fact that we fear because we don't know what's going to happen. Actually, most of the time we are very scared to fall. We are very scared to fail, So that is also part of the process, It's I saw this journey of creating my podcast, which took me actually months. Like, I had the idea, I had the strong feeling that I wanted to express my true feelings, my experiences with others, right? Through a podcast, because I like talking, I like speaking. I feel communication is one of my things. But guys, it took me months actually. It took me months to create the whole idea. For sure, creating something is not from one day to another, right? So I saw this project as a seed, right? My idea was the seed. I planted the seed. I said, okay, I'm gonna create this. And then I needed to water. I needed to water the idea, right? I needed to put in water on my idea. It was to, work on creating the profile for Spotify, creating the image, the sound of my voice, the name, start thinking about the topics that I wanted to talk. If I show you guys my documents on my computer, I have like pages and pages that I just write ideas, and at the same time, I found myself blaming myself for not doing it, like taking action. But at the same time, I was taking action. I was building. I was watering the seed for it to become a little sprout and then a big plant, Today I can call it a plant. It's already a plant, because it's already on the platforms. But before being a plant, I needed to water, so I needed to work on the on the ideas. I needed to feel myself prepared, you know, which this is tricky situation. I can feel like sometimes we want to feel ready for something, right? And that's a big excuse not to start, because we're never gonna be ready. Oh, sorry guys, we're never gonna be ready. We're never gonna be ready if we wait to do something to be ready. We're gonna spend many days procrastinating. Procrastinating is one of the things that I notice in my behaviors, as Clinton was saying. And procrastination can be a very big enemy in our plan of achieving things. So also, Danny Chi on the Go says, I was afraid of being criticized or looking foolish. Now I'm getting better. 100%, that was part of my journey as well. I was having feelings like, oh, I don't know if what I'm gonna say is gonna be well received. Maybe I don't say anything smart. Maybe, but that is self-sabotage. That is self-sabotage. So for that, you need to build your trust, And, for example, I was very used, when I felt that I was ready, or that I was having this feeling of making a podcast, for me it was also a very big beginning, but it was like very contradictory, For me, I'm a singer since I'm 8 years old. I'm very used to have a microphone, but this time was very different. I'm very used to sing, I can feel very comfortable in stages with lights. I've been doing that my entire life. But the moment where I sat on the microphone just to speak for 45 minutes or whatever that a podcast episode can last, the first time, guys, I didn't finish the episode. I stopped and I did it another time, and I felt, oh, I'm not ready, so that also made me realize that there was one side of me, yes, not feeling 100% ready, but also the willing to be ready was also part of the journey, right? As what I was talking at the beginning about the seed, putting the seed. Dorin Small says, first time flying in an airplane in 1990. I know there's a lot of people that can be like so scared of things like this. I remember I cried the first time. The first time I fly, but for emotion. Like it was my dream. It was my dream to jump in a plane. And sometimes now I see my life and how normal for me is to take a plane now. And I'm like, wow, I can be more grateful with life and God and everything. But yeah, I know there's many people that can be scared of those things because we're not used to it. We're not used to it. But for sure, I noticed that in this case, I was procrastinating a lot. I was finding excuses. I was finding a lot of excuses, and it was so funny because I found excuses to stop me. Like in that moment, I didn't have the microphone for recording a podcast properly because also I like perfectionism, I like everything can be simple. I can do a podcast just with my phone, but I can find excuses, oh no, I need to be in this step, not in this one, At that moment, I didn't have the microphone, so I was like, okay, I don't have the microphone yet. I cannot do it. I cannot do it. What happened? Rocio manifested a microphone. Okay, so Rocio was like, oh, but I don't have the laptop. I don't have a laptop. What happened? Rocio manifested a laptop, and then I found myself with laptop with a microphone in front of me, and I was like, oh, I have everything that I thought that I needed, I have everything that I needed. No, actually that I needed. I was telling myself to validate my excuses that I needed those things. So that was like, oh, now what can I do now? I have no options. I have to start. And I was terrified. I noticed I sit myself in front of the microphone. I have my like, guys, like this is all my notes, you know. You can see I have everything planned already in my mind to create, to record the podcast, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it for the first time. And yeah, it was frustrating. It was very frustrating at that moment. But one of the things that I've been practicing for a long time is to be kind to myself, you know? Like, I can be the biggest judge with myself. Sometimes many of us, we are our worst enemies sometimes. Am I right? Am I right? Let me know what you guys think. Sometimes we are our worst enemies, right? But also, in the process of being kind to myself, I gave myself the time to say, okay, it's not gonna be today. I will try tomorrow, right? And also in the process of, I fail today, but I will try tomorrow. That day I had the time maybe to work on something extra, you know, maybe more ideas came for the same episode. Better ideas that made maybe a better episode, you know. So I started to notice all of these behaviors that I have done before. Maybe my podcast project put me in front of all of these patterns that I was repeating. But then I noticed, oh, I've done this before. I had this behavior before. I said all of these excuses before. So now it's time to share. Now it's time to change. Sorry. And you know what? I also noticed that being kind to myself was very, very important, because I allow this seed or this plant to grow better. It was like very important. Yes, I was procrastinating. But at the same time, so I was pushing myself too hard. You have to do it, you know? So it's very important to find a balance. That's something that I notice. You know, and the thing, and also, now let's go to the point where I say practice. Practice is also important. At the moment where I sat myself in front of the microphone, which I'm very used to use a microphone, singing, not speaking, you know? And like, I like speaking but writing. I like writing long text and things like that. But this was something new. And sometimes maybe you know that you're talented on it, but you're very scared anyway to do it. Am I right? So I also noticed that, yeah, maybe the first time, it's not that easy to sit, you know, on and start to record a full episode the first time that you sit. No, actually it's not. Practice is important. It's also, yeah, maybe it doesn't work at the first time. The second time probably it's gonna be a little bit better, right? Third time is gonna be even better. My first episode, first time I didn't make it. Next time I try again, but I couldn't record just all at once. So I was recording, pausing, keep recording, things like this, you know? And after that, in practice, I was able to sit and just start talking and recording without stopping, you know? So also, that's the beauty of the journey, right? That not to be hard on ourselves, you know? Not to pretend to expect to do everything perfect at the same time. Because when we do that, is when we make this fear of beginning bigger. Like, what if I fail? What if nobody likes what I say? What if nobody hears what I'm saying? What if there's nothing valuable for me to say? You know, all of those things were stopping me, but also because I was pushing too hard. And in this practice of being kind to myself, I needed to be able to say, okay, Ro, it's not gonna happen tonight. You can record tomorrow. Yeah, Karen White says, practice always makes perfect. We all been there. Yeah, exactly. Like, we can be very talented, but if you don't practice on your talent, nothing good is gonna happen. It's gonna happen. But yeah, guys, let me know. I wanna see some of your experiences. I want to read if you can feel that you resonate with the feelings like this before I keep on going. What do you think? We are 150, guys. Thank you so much for joining. Give me a like. You know that I like to have balance. I'm a Libra girl. I'm the balance. I'm looking for balance all the time. Doesn't mean that I always find it, but I'm always looking for balance. Let me know, guys, if you feel that you resonate with these things. Hey, Bush Boy and the donkeys. First time on Raw Live, feeding my donkeys now. Hey, thank you so much for your donations, 200 Kenyan shillings. Thank you so much. You have donkeys. That's nice. That's nice. Yes, Silo says, I'm an overthinker. I'm a Libra too, Rocio. Well, yes, the overthinking also. Overthinking is a practice to stop, you know. Everything in excess is not okay. So, and sometimes it's, you know, this is the mind. This is the mind that we need to take control on it, because that is when I'm saying about that sometimes we are our worst enemies, ourselves. So yeah, overthinking is just, sometimes it's stressful, it drains a lot of energy, it takes time that we can use in worry less, you know? So, yes, Silo says, and I don't like that, I overthink, I need to change that. Well, you can change today, you're just a decision ahead, you know? Next time that you find yourself overthinking, start doing something. Change the environment. Go on a walk. Distract yourself. Grab a book and read. You know, feed your mind with something else. So you stop overthinking. Faikerai says, I have a fear of putting my own face on my channel, but I'm allowing myself the time to get comfortable. First, I've started with a picture. Well, that's also okay, you know, that that you say, okay, at least I started with a picture. It's more than okay. Don't be hard on yourself. Everything is step by step. The good thing that you have to take in mind is that at least you're taking a step. At least you're doing your channel, you know? And nobody feels comfortable staying in front of a camera for the first time. That's a process. Eventually, you will. Maybe if you resonate, because I'm a woman, you know, most of the times we feel insecure in front of a camera. We start to find the things that we don't like about ourselves, you know. Just try to do the opposite. Try to look for the things that you love about yourself, about your face maybe, because probably it's your face what is very much in front. What are your favorite things in your face? Maybe your lips, your eyebrows, your nose, your eyelashes. I don't know. I don't know. Look for something and put the attention on that. And eventually, you will start to feel comfortable. And there are millions of YouTubes out there filming everything. So it's just it's a practice. It's practice. It's practice. The important is that you take a step and take action on it. So Akinyes Garden says, yes, you're right. I lived overseas for 20 years. I was scared to come back to Kenya. Now I live in Kisumu. My own garden. Wow, I'm so happy. Now Kenya is beautiful. That is so interesting what you're saying. Sometimes this is a thing that sometimes when we leave our country, because I have friends, also experiencing the same. When you leave your country, maybe to look for a better life or something different, or a new experience, many times we feel like coming back to our home, to our country. We see it as a fail, but now you see, you fell in love. Also, it's so beautiful to come back after many years and find things are different, or nothing has changed also, but it feels home, but you come back as a new you also. I don't think, maybe probably after 20 years you're not the same person, so you can see with different eyes. For what I see now, you love Kisumu and your place and your garden. So it's so beautiful to be able to do things even if you're scared, and realizing that after that, you feel so good. The feeling, after being so scared and taking the action, taking the step, jumping into the waters of the unknown, the feeling after that is like wow, it really fits the ego in a very good way. I can read this. I am minus send 100 Kenyan chilis. Thank you so much. First time on live feeding at my home. Is the same one? Okay. Thank you so much. Change is the only constant, says it Rivas one. Absolutely yes, and I love it. I actually love it. Transformation, it's part. I have a transformation here. My snake is the big symbol of transformation. We are constantly changing, right? So if we see it as normal, we can fear less and less every time, right? What do you think, guys? What do you think? Everybody's saying thanks to Tony. Yes, Tony, I hope everything comes back to you multiply 100%. So okay, let's keep on going. So okay, after all of these behaviors that I started to recognize, right, in my journey on my podcast, but also I noticed that I had these behaviors before in other situations. I noticed that it was important to recognize the fear. Sometimes we are scared, we are afraid, and we just want this fear to go away, we don't want to have it, we don't want to feel it. I don't want to feel like that, it's uncomfortable, it's an uncomfortable feeling, 100%. But it's very important to recognize it, because as a human feeling, that's what it wants. The fear wants to be recognized. Like, what am I scared? What name can I put on this fear? Am I scared of failing? Am I scared of looking like a fool? Am I scared of the criticism? Am I scared of people's opinions? That's also, when you decide to expose yourself, people will have opinions. And I was about to say a bad word, but oh yes, there are a lot of people on the other side of the phone just spreading a lot of bad things that they have inside, right? So yeah, that's also hard. It's also hard. Nobody wants to to have to face that. It's 100% it's 100% understandable. But when you are able to recognize your fear, when you have to talk to the fear. Hey, fear, I'm here. I'm listening to you. What do you want? What do you want? The feeling, what we do with this fear, so the fear is an energy. It's an energy that is very low vibration. The opposite of love is not hate, it's fear. So by love is here. The fear is here in terms of vibration. All what the fear wants is to have some love, because it's so far away from love. So when you sit with your monster that is called fear, maybe this fear is called fear of failing, fear of criticism, whatever, say, okay, you have to talk to your fear like it's another person. This is a very good therapy, trust me. To recognize it, to say, okay, I am scared. I am 100% scared. I'm 100% afraid of this thing, and it's okay. It's 100% okay. It's a human feeling. Fear, I thank you for showing me this. I thank you for showing me this emotion, so now I can give it love and light, and I can transcend, If we try to avoid the fear, hey, the guinea fowls are very active. If we try to avoid the fear, it will come back to our life. It will knock on our door once again in the future. It's not about, nobody wants to feel uncomfortable feelings. It's normal, But it's not about putting it under the bed, under the carpet, It's not about just, send it away. I don't want to see you. I don't want to have any contact with you. It's honestly, it's about the opposite. Trying to do the opposite. It's about, okay, fear, what's going on? Tell me, what do you want to show me that I'm not able to see? Every feeling has something to show us, even the low ones, even the ones that we don't want to experience, Everything has something to show us. So it's very important to have this seat with your monsters, with your shadows, and say, hey, what do you want to show me? Oh, okay, I need to notice that I'm so scared of what people is gonna say about me. It's okay, Oh, I'm so scared that I may fail on this. It's okay, It's important to recognize, because once you recognize the fear, you give it light, you give it love, and you transcend, and the fear goes away. But if you avoid it, no, I don't want to see you, trust me, will knock on your door once again. And as I was telling you before at the beginning of this life, I feel like fear is an emotion that we'll always have to deal with in different moments of our lives. As I tell you, the opposite of love is not hate, it's fear. High frequency, love. Low frequency, fear. The fear is begging so much for love because it's very far away, And it's the opposite. In order for us to feel love, we must be able to experience the fear in our life. So also, I noticed that all of this process was showing me this thing that I told you before. Be gentle with myself, be patient with the process, and see everything as the nature itself, as the seed. My idea of the podcast was the seed that I planted. But then I had to water, then I had to work on the ideas. Then I had to find my my laptop, my podcast, work on the creative imagive, work on the name, planned some of the episodes, start thinking, okay, which day I may post, how many times a week, a month, or a year, you know. All of that takes a process. And that's the beauty of it. It's not that when you have, okay, I want to do something, you have to do it tomorrow. No, and sometimes we force ourselves to do things like this, right? Hey, welcome, welcome. I didn't notice that we are almost double now. We have 225 people watching. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining. This is a little different live. Thank you so much, Nesifo1, for £3. Thank you so much for your donation. I hope it comes back to you multiplying. Hello, Wimbo. Nice to see you there. Nice to see you there. For the ones that are joining today, today's live, it's a live podcast. A live podcast. I told you. It says, hi, you, HA, hi, Rocio, you are a Sigma female. I just learned about Sigmas this morning. I am one also. If you don't know what one is, please look it up on YouTube. It's very interesting. Wow, now I want to know, what is a Sigma? Can you tell me just resume, very small? Hi, Rocio, where is God Matata? God Matata is out there in the house doing things. He's outside, actually, right now. Welcome, guys. Oh, sorry. Welcome, guys, to the ones that are joining. Today is a podcast, live podcast. Today we have a topic on this live. It's not just random Q&A things. Today we are talking about the fear of beginnings, because I feel like it's something that we are always experimenting new beginnings. Sometimes one of them are stronger, like Nasto, for example, quitting from his job to YouTube. You know, that's a big step. You know, in my case, I don't know, leaving my country to travel alone, to live a new life out there. You know, or when I was in Mexico, to decide to come here to Africa. And also the new beginnings that I know I will face, because I love new beginnings. I love new beginnings. But we always have this little friend, little enemy, maybe, little monster, little shadow that comes with it before. And it's called fear, you know? And this fear can stop us many times. Elizabeth Godet says, Ro, I will always remember that it was self-confidence that caused a baby to make the first step in walking, taking, etc. Yes. Self-confidence, you know, it comes, I feel like it's so important to be scared and to be afraid and to feel like, oh, maybe I fail, maybe I don't do it well, maybe nobody likes it, maybe nobody, to put light on self-confidence, to say, no, wait, maybe someone will hear me. Maybe at least one person will say, oh, wow, I resonate with what you say, you know? I feel like it's very important, contrast, you know, contrasts in life are very important. Light and shadow are very important. Like we need one and we need the other. To build self-confidence, you need to be on the step before, right? So, and yes, it's so important. It's so important. But also self-confidence is a practice, you know? Like for me, sitting in the microphone, even though I sang my entire life, this time it was different. This time it was about talking, Rocio speaking, you know? Because I also, like, I had these inner beliefs, you know? I've always been a singer, so I know how to use my voice, but I was having this soul calling, you know, that I was telling me, Rocio, you can also speak, right? Rocio, your voice it's powerful, yes, for singing, but also you can speak. Pay attention, work on your voice, you know. Use your voice in different ways. You're not just a singer, You're not just a singer, you know. I started to have all of this inner talking, you know. But at the same time, it was like this, but like uncomfortable feelings, uncomfortable feelings. Let me read some of your comments. I see many. I want to read. Awa 8762 says, after first surfing in Hawaii, I learned to face challenges as I grew to meet them head on. Daily walk, false evidence appearing real. Yes, I feel like I had some surf lessons, and that's one of the things that, wow, it can be scary, but once you make it, it's a feeling, it's a satisfaction. It's so amazing. It's so rewarding. I feel like that's one of the things. That's one of the reasons that I really like jumping into the unknown, and I like challenges, and I like doing things different, because I know how I feel after I'm able to do these things. Like, even with fear, I do it, you know. And the feeling after that is really, really, really 100% amazing. And it builds confidence. It builds confidence. Once you've done something with fear and you say, oh, I can do it. I can do it. It was easier than I thought, you know? Next time is easier. Next time is easier. And that's what I was noticing in myself, you know, when I started to recognize, hey, I've seen behaviors and patterns that I've repeated before. This time I'm going to do it different. This time I'm going to do it different. And that's what everything that I observed in this podcast creation. So today, that's what I'm sharing with you today. Okay. Guys, let me read you. What do you think? What do you think of these experiences in life? Sinclair says, yes, I think an example of conquering your fear is like learning to swim for the first time. Yes, yes, yes. And once you know how to learn, it's so beautiful. I love swimming. For sure. It's so beautiful when you feel confident in the ocean, feel confident in the pool, in the water, you know? And it's so beautiful. It's also so beautiful. I feel like it's also so beautiful to remember this moment of, oh, I was so scared in this moment, but look at me now. I was so scared. I didn't do it. Guys, I don't come to Africa. Let me tell you this secret. There was one moment that I almost called Mara, and I was like, I think I'm not going. I'm sorry. Guys, I swear. I had moments, you know, where I think I'm not gonna do it. No. Better I don't, you know. But look at me now. Or look at you now. Do you remember that feeling after facing a fear? Let me know. I'm reading you. Shadriel SVG says, the moment one gives close attention to anything, even a blade of grass, it becomes a mysterious, awesome, indescribable, magnificent world in itself. Wow, so poetic, this comment. But yes, 100%. Yes, 100%. Fakere says, singing on stage is very brave. I can't imagine you being afraid of people. So today's singing in front of a lot of people is quite normal for me. But let me tell you, my first time, it was one of the moments I will never forget. Guys, my first time on stage, I was 10 years old, and there was like a festival in school. I was in primary school. There was like a festival, I need chapstick. There was like a festival in school, and they asked everybody in the class if somebody had a talent and wanted to participate and things like that. And I was just starting my singing lessons. I was going to a teacher that my dad sent me, and I was very new in singing, like with a teacher. And So, but I felt myself so brave, like, yes, I'm studying already, I want to sing. uh, so I take myself, I jump, and I jump into the pool. And I remember that they came, I prepared myself for sure, I prepared the song and everything, I did one song. And I'll never forget this moment. So it was my turn. They called my name. I had to go on stage. And that day, the school was like full, completely full. Like at least 600 people were there. I look at all of the people and I started shaking, like I was frozen. I was so frozen. I started shaking 100%. And of course, the voice is very emotional. You need to control your emotions so much when it comes to singing, because singing is breathing. If I'm nervous, I cannot control my voice. I started to lose control of my voice, So, and I was 10 years old. And what happened? What happened was, I felt so nervous. I felt so nervous. And my voice was shaking so much. I couldn't have control of it. I started to cry and I ran out of the stage. I ran out of the stage straight to my mom's to cry so much. So my mom consoled me in that moment. But I was feeling myself, was, no, Rocio, how come? How come? No, And my mom consoled me a little bit, and she told me, okay, relax, get better, and maybe you have the opportunity to go again. And so I said, yes, okay. Like I wasn't happy of leaving the stage like a drama queen and not achieving my goal of singing, So after a moment when I relaxed, I decided to come back to the stage. I was so nervous still, for sure. But what I did, is just, I closed my eyes and I sang the entire song with my eyes closed. I still remember there was a moment when I decided to open just a little bit, my eyes, just to spy a little. And like people were singing like that, everybody was like so happy, but I was still, no, I cannot. But I did it. So that was my first time on stage ever. So it's a big memory for me. Of course, I was so scared. Of course, I almost failed, but I couldn't afford to fail. No. So I decided to be brave, come back. Even though I was still fair, I found my own way to do it. Like I closed my eyes and I faced it. I had to face it. But I will never forget that moment. Let me read you guys. Sinclair says, so true. Atienos Oficial, the very fear that you overcome becomes your specialty of your favorite things you do. That's actually true. Sinclair, the story of my learning to swim is an epic saga. Guys, for what I see, it's something that we all experience, right? Time Media says, hey Rocio, that's how an event that will turn very good comes across. A part of you wants to wrestle with another. Congrats on your decision. Continue loving each other. Thank you. Atienos official says, Rocio, the moment I hit the road, a first-time driver, I can't imagine. I was afraid to take a drive alone on the highway to my villa. Yeah, I felt the same when I was driving the bike. First time, like I was learning to drive like on the inside streets, But this was in Puerto Escondido. To move from Puerto Escondido from one side to another, you need to use the main road. And yeah, I was really scared to do it. And then that was something like I was doing every day and enjoying so much. So sometimes these things that you are really, really scared are the ones that are so excited. then you get so excited to do it, and you remember, wow, I was so afraid to do this, and now I feel so relaxed and like a professional doing it. Right? So this is also very important, you know. This is also coming back to my what I want to translate for you from my podcast episode is like remembering the past is very important, you know. Remember those situations where we were in this fear situation, and look at ourselves now. Where are we right now? I Sinclair, it was you. I'm pretty sure that now you're a very good swimmer, right? That's very important because that builds our trust, our self-confidence. That also is like a very nice push to say, okay, I can do it. And maybe you have to face a new challenge, a new beginning, and you are scared, but you can come back to remember, oh, but I remember when I was so afraid to swim, and look at me, I'm a very good swimmer now. So you can compare those situations to take a look at yourself and say, put yourself in front of the mirror and say, yes, I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. So that's also very important, very important, to remember yourself capable. Remember yourself capable. That is very important, because when we have this self-sabotage, right? This mind that talks a lot of negativity towards ourselves. We need the other side of the mountain, you know, like we have the little devil and the little angel, you know. We need to hear the angel. The angel is telling you, hey, remember when you were able to do it before. Remember that you can do it, and you're gonna be able to do it once again. That's very important. That's why it's important to be strong. It's important to be brave. But it's also important to remember ourselves capable to do anything. The truth is that we can. The truth is that we can. 100%. Guys, what do you think? What do you think, guys? Let me know. Anybody wants to tell an experience? Wants to share an experience? So all of us, we can. Blessing says, always listen to your heart and follow your instinct. Yes, for example, in this case, for me, it was 100% listening to my heart, saying, Rocio, do a podcast. But I had to face all of these triggers, you know. But yeah, the heart is always right. Guys, if somebody wants to share a story before I leave, it's been so nice. I hope you enjoy these conversations, this kind of talkings. This is kind of like what a podcast is about, but in this case, I'm able to read your comments and to see your opinions at the very right beginning. So, guys, anybody wants to share an experience? Because we are in this together, guys. Everybody, we experience similar things in different ways, but we are all here to experience same things, same different circumstances, but the lessons are the same, that we need to put them on practice. Who wants to share a story? Please, I would love to know, like a story of you being so afraid of a new beginning, and where are you right now? Let me know. I want to read you. Somebody says that the beauty in the background. Yes, it's so nice, actually. I really like it also. So beautiful. Who wants to share a story? Don't be scared. Guys, it's so important to share. That's also one of the reasons why I'm sharing my own experience. Everything that I talk from my own experience. But as you see, you can resonate. You can say, oh, I happened to feel the same. You know, oh, I remember, yes, I remember this moment in my life when I was feeling the same, and this is true, you know. And for me, the important thing of sharing is like, maybe when you are in a new beginning of something and you find yourself procrastinating, finding excuses not to do it, or self-sabotaging, you know, you can recognize, hey, wait, this voice is not true, this voice is not true, this voice is not true, this is not me, I know I can do it, I know I can do it. Or you can notice, hey, I'm procrastinating. Well, it's been 2 months since I said that I'm going to start the gym and I don't do it, you know. Well, this is procrastination. Because sometimes we don't even want to recognize those things. We give a lot of permission to the excuse to exist, right? Blessing says, my sister had fears of leaving his boyfriend, who was a control freak, but it later turned out to be a blessing because she was bold enough and follow her instinct and heart. Sometimes quick in relationships, it's a big thing. We are so afraid. Oh, maybe I don't find love again, and what if I... Many stories we tell to our heads, right? And sometimes it happens that once you finally break up that relationship that is really destroying you in many ways, this sensation of freedom is unforgettable, you know. Sometimes also fears, very strong fear comes before something big is gonna happen. And like when we know that our life is gonna, you know, because also releasing a fear, it releases energy from us. So imagine if we are vibrating in love, in fear frequency, right? And love is here. When we get rid of the fear, we are a little bit closer to love, you know, because we have less heaviness. The fear is heavy. Fear is very heavy, and it wants us here to low vibrating. And when we release the fear, we are lighter. So we can come closer to love. So that's what it is. Hey guys, we're 202 and we have 203 likes. Thank you so much for that balance. You are making a Libra happy. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed. This conversation, this podcast. Next podcast, I think I'm thinking about Sunday for podcasts. But yes, thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for also resonating with this information. Maybe, yes, you see that all of our videos are like blog and entertainment, but I'm very keen to share this kind of information, you know. And I have a lot of topics, guys. Like a lot of creative ideas that I want to share with you. So this was kind of like a marketing study, you know. Like I'm trying to see if you enjoy also these topics. I feel like it's also entertainment, you know, but in a very different way, maybe more serious. But yes, guys, thank you so much for joining. Remember 100% that you are capable to do anything that you want. Remember yourself in past moments where you were scared to do something, but you did it and everything went well, and look at you now. I'm 100% sure that all of you had to face a big fear in life. Not just one, many. And I'm pretty sure that many of you had this behavior, so procrastinating, finding excuses, taking too long, and also, or maybe pushing too hard, you know, being hard on yourself, and giving too much attention to the fear, you know. But yes, Prince Chavanga says, we love the program and expect more to improve where we are and we were about to go. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for receiving this. My intention is with pure love. Beverly Grant says, I like your topic, very interesting. Thank you guys, thank you, thank you, thank you. This makes me feel very, very nice and very, it's also, you know, it's a release of a fear. You know, I was doubting my podcast because I had my podcast, of course, before coming here, but then when I started to do the travel vlog so intense, and now my daily vlogs and things like this, the type of content is different. It's different just seeing somebody doing things, playing with the horses, traveling, you know, it keeps the attention in a different way, rather than me sitting and talking serious about life. You know, I know some people may just want to forget about everything and just give me entertainment, you know. But this is part of who I am. Also, this is also what I have to bring to the world. I know it will be very well received, but also I was listening to the voice of this fear saying, no, Rocio, nobody will listen to you because you're doing a different type of content. So I needed to be brave and to sit here and talk to you, and I'm very happy that you are receiving this. I swear, guys, that I have amazing topics to talk about, to share with you, and I really hope that you will receive it with love. Thank you so much, everybody. Let me listen to this. Let me read this story here. Sinclair says, one of my story is moving around as a traveling nurse after I left the hospital I worked in for 3 years. I had to build confidence and independence in knowing my job. Very interesting topic. Okay. You know, also, this building the confidence is through the experience, right? What's say? Next Sunday, same time, we have to gather here to gain. So we should tell somebody to tell somebody. Next is going to be great on Rocio's channel. Thank you. I think I like this live podcast. What do you guys think? Because for sure my podcast also, you know, my podcast, the idea is like a program recorded when you are able also to listen to it on Spotify. And Jesus love you, amen. But also I'm enjoying so much this. I think I'm gonna do everything, just everything. I will record my podcast. I will come to you and talk to you because I really like doing these lives and reading you and sharing time with you. So guys, don't forget that you are 100% capable. Don't forget that love is higher than fear. Don't forget that the feeling after achieving something that you think you're very scared is just amazing. It's just amazing. Just look at where you were before and where are you now. Feel proud of yourself. Don't be hard. Be kind to you. Be kind to yourself. And yes, guys, I send you a lot of love, a lot of life. It was a pleasure to talk to you, to share this. I'm very happy. I'm also proud of myself because I was, as I just told you, I was also facing fears about this podcast here, but I was also facing fears in terms of the language, you know? Like I started doing the podcast in Spanish because it makes me feel more confident. It's my native language. But I also want to spread my message in English, right? Because that's the reason why I learned a language, you know, to be able to communicate. So, yes, Rocio. Palmadita. That, give yourself a shout out, you know, give yourself a small, you did it well, you know, give yourself a hug And remember that you are capable. Guys, I love you so much. I send you love, I send you life, and I see you on the videos and next podcast and everything. Mwah. Thank you for listening.